when I was a trainer, you probably experienced this too, Haley, as a trainer. I had clients that, like, one client in particular came up to me, like tears in her eyes, saying, I'm so afraid to be here. I'm so afraid to be here. My daughter
Mm.
really wants me to get fit and healthy. We're an active family. I'm terrified. And her daughter, actually, who was an athlete, walked her over to me and just kind of like handed her over to me, tears in her eyes. She turns out to this day to be one of my dearest friends and most amazing client, who does like burpees and strength training, and she knows every machine in the gym, and she's a powerhouse. And she was terrified. And so, meet yourself where you are, be kind to yourself, and say, hey, where can I start with strength training? Since it's going to be important for this time in my life, let me see how I can add it in.
Hey there, gang. Today we have an awesome video for you, but even better than that, I have an awesome coach, a new coach on this video. Woo, super exciting. I have Lenora here. She is one of our seasoned top coaches here at My Body Tutor. And today she is going to be talking with us about getting fit beyond 50. Yes, it is possible. It is not too late. And we are going to share 5 of our best and fastest recommendations for achieving fitness beyond 50. Lenora, say a few words.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Haley. It's my absolute pleasure to be here so I can share what I know and pass it on to other people. I just love gathering information and sharing it, and also to be kind of, walking the walk and talking the talk of someone over 50 who's feeling great, feel in great shape, loves exercise, fitness, loves to pass it on and share it, and to just let you know it's never too late. There's always time to make a change, and there's endless possibilities of changing at any time in your life.
Yes, and we are going to get right to it. So this first topic we're going to talk about, this first recommendation, is probably one of the most, the one that people resist the most. And Lenora, you have a personal experience with this one, so I'm really excited for you to share about it. But we really want to tell you out there, beyond 50, we got to figure out a way to fall in love with lifting. Lenora,
Yes.
what do you have to say about that?
Okay, well, this is great because over 50, we really do want to bring in resistance training, weight training, using any kind of resistance for building muscle and bone density. We're not only building muscle, we're increasing bone density, which is a necessity for this time in our lives. Studies also show that adding in resistance training lowers the cortisol level and bumps up the ability to lose weight and maintain weight loss. Personally, for me, for my personal story, I was not interested in going into a gym ever in my life. In fact, I was a cyclist and I was a runner for most of my life. And one snowy winter in my late 40s, I decided to hit the gym. And I met a personal trainer in the gym who turned out to be a dear friend of mine, who taught me so much about fitness and exercise. And I went from this just power walking person my body was like a little bit out of proportion here and there, to learning about, hey, wait a minute, I'm not going to get big and bulky. I'm going to just build muscle and tone things and shift my body composition around a little bit, and learn so much about the human body and weight training. And what that did is then turned me into a personal trainer, and then led me to MBT. So there was a path there, but I'm not saying that that's a path for everyone. But what I'm saying is, hey, it's never too late. I was dead set against walking into a gym. I had a fear of the gym, and I became a trainer. So it's possible to, go into a gym and get comfortable with the whole training aspect, or do it at home. It doesn't even have to be in a gym.
Right. Yeah. And I would say that's probably one of the biggest objections to this suggestion of falling in love with lifting is they don't want to go to a gym. They feel self-conscious, right? We feel self-conscious.
Yeah.
That spotlight effect that we've talked about, right?
Yeah.
It exists. It's a real thing, except it's an illusion, right? And nobody in the gym has a single concern with what you're doing because they're way too self-involved.
100%.
And you brought up another good point, Lenora. bother the people who work at the gym.
Yes, yes,
As a
yes.
former personal trainer,
Mhm.
I could not wait for somebody to ask me for help.
Yes,
Please,
yes,
it is
yes.
our greatest goal, right?
Absolutely. We're walking around the gym floor. How many times can you organize the weight rack or check in on the front
Oh,
desk? Bother those gym people. It doesn't mean you have to sign
yes.
up for packages or anything, but ask them, hey, how do I use this machine? Could you walk me through this circuit section? Can you show me, could you just stand with me in the dumbbell section of the gym, because I'm a little intimidated, because that's kind of where the big bodybuilders hang out. Could you just kind of show me around?
Yeah,
It's Trainers love it. The gyms offer it. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the classes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said too, like if it's really an obstacle for you to get to a gym, that's
Hmm.
okay. You can do it at home.
Absolutely.
Body weight is a great place to start loving to lift, right? Like being able to lift your
Absolutely.
own body weight, that's not
Hmm.
nothing.
No, that is something, and it's a very good something, because we want to add that in to any kind of strength training, is body weight training. Simple things like squats, lunges,
Mm,
push-ups, planks, tricep
mm,
dips. Some of these may be foreign terms for you. Easy to learn, easy to do. You could do them anywhere. You could do them at your desk at work. You could do them, taking a break while you're cooking. I used to do squats in between flipping chicken cutlets in the kitchen, do like 10 squats in between. So, I mean, you find a way to do it, and it works. I just call them workout snacks. You find a way to make it work. But,
yes.
just getting comfortable with it. And if it means starting out in your home, start in your home. There are many trainers, if you're not sure what to do and you're worried or concerned about form and injury, or if you have an injury, trainers can come to your home, or you can do virtual training. I have a few clients I do virtual training with, personal training clients that I do virtual training with, and hey, it works. It works. We don't live near one another. They have health concerns. It's working, and they get comfortable with it. And when I was a trainer, you probably experienced this too, Haley, as a trainer. I had clients that, like, one client in particular came up to me, like, tears in her eyes, saying, I'm so afraid to be here. I'm so afraid to be here. My daughter
Mm,
really wants me to get fit and healthy. We're an active family. I'm terrified. And her daughter, actually, who was an athlete, walked her over to me, and so it's kind of like handed her over to me, tears in her eyes. She turns out to this day to be one of my dearest friends and most amazing client, who does like burpees and strength training, and she knows every machine in the gym, and she's a powerhouse. And she was terrified. And so, meet yourself where you are, be kind to yourself, and say, hey, where can I start with strength training? Since it's going to be important for this time in my life, let me see how I can add it in.
yeah, definitely. I do want to touch on though, sort of topic 1B, if you will, the idea
Hmm.
of we just need to get moving, right? Like I know there are some of us that kind of lose our way into our 30s, 40s, and maybe once we get into our 50s and we realize we've just not been moving at all. And that can
Hmm.
feel really overwhelming when we're looking
Hmm.
at, okay, here we are beyond 50, right? We've maybe put on weight we don't need, we're inactive, we're beyond
Hmm.
stressed, and we're going to get to that as well. Maybe we're
Hmm.
confused about what to eat anymore. We're going to get to that. But
Hmm.
getting moving. Where do you
Hmm.
suggest we start?
Start by walking out the door. Go for a walk. Dance in your living room. Find a video
Mm,
you enjoy. Find people. Find a community of people. There are people out there that are in the same boat that you're in that would love the company. You can make some really, really great friends by joining a class or finding a meetup of, women over 50 or people over 50 who want to go for a hike, a doable hike. And I'm not talking mountain climbing, rock climbing, but hey, go into the woods and go be out in nature and go for a walk, or do a dance video. I have these great dance videos that I've done here in my own home, especially during COVID. They were great. They were great for the core. It was fun, just moving my body, playing basketball with the kids in the backyard, walking your dog. It's just moving your body and just building that craving to move and
mm,
feel the desire to want to keep moving again. And that happens by just showing up a little bit each day and building and building and building. And I have had clients where we started with 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes of, hey, let's pick up a couple of dumbbells and do a curl and a press and a couple of squats. Repeat it. Go out for a walk, come back, repeat it. 5 minutes, boom, done. And then we do it the next day. And then we do it the next day until it builds where you're like, okay, this feels super easy. What else can I do? Or, hey, I don't want to be doing the same thing every day. What can we shift around or do something different here?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the benefits, listen, nobody needs to drive home the benefits of movement any more than they've already been driven home across every piece of information we can find, right? But it's for real. Improved mood, improved energy. We're like basil plants, Lenora. The more you pick those leaves, the more energy you pull from the body, the more energy it creates. So if you're not ready to start lifting, do get up and start moving. And don't imagine it has to look like some intense workout that you've seen come across your screen when you're, looking at Peloton or what. It does not have to be that. It can be activity of daily life that you simply extend for a little bit longer, right? Walk the dog another 5 minutes, right? Or pick up your pace a little and chase, your grandkids or your kids or whatever down the street. But definitely, and, not to mention the benefits to brain health as we age, movement. Everybody thinks that sitting at your computer doing crossword puzzles, those are great, but the brain grows because you move. So definitely
the neuromuscular system is connected. It's so important to move your body for your mental well-being, which is super important as you go north of 50. Super, super important. Moving your body. Think of yourself as a mover, not someone who works out or goes to the gym. This is the time of your life to find joy in what you're doing. You're no longer trying to, be this person or be that person. You're just kind of coming into your own and saying, hey, what do I really love to do? Oh, I used to love swimming.
Yes.
Find somewhere to swim. Hey, I used to love cycling. Get on the bike. Just there are things that we can do, and it has. This is the time to let it bring you joy. Make it so that will make it more sustainable.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, you touched upon recommendation number 2. The fastest way to get fit beyond 50 would be to link up with a community of people who are thinking and being and moving and living just like you. Community, support, you got to find your people. So give us some more information about this, Lenora. I think you have a few good stories up your sleeves.
I certainly do. Community is super important. Look, you may be a solitary person. That's cool. I'm an introvert. I love to be out with people, but I love to do things on my own as well. It doesn't mean you have to be out and jumping around with a bunch of people in a class every day. Find your people. Here's my great story. My dear newest friend in my life is a woman who joined a walking group. She went to buy a pair of sneakers. She's like, she moved into an assisted living community. Now, this woman is 84 years old. She moved into an assisted living or independent living community. So she was a very independent woman. And she just said, hey, I see a lot of people around here that are super sedentary, and that's not what I want. That's not the future I want for myself. Let me go and find something to do. So she went to a store to buy a pair of sneakers. In the store, there was a poster. Hey, there's a walking group for people over 50, over 60 who want to start walking. It's like, hey, great, I'll join that group. She walks her dog every day. She figures she can do that. Well, she joined the group and realized over time, doing this weekly, that she was getting better and she was going faster than the group. And she thought, oh, I'm kind of like in between this walking and running. So she decided, hey, let me play around with running a little bit. Okay, she was 75 years old at the time. So she's now 84. 75 years old at the time, decided to start running. So here she is from 75 to 84 years old, a runner. Not just a runner, a racer. She goes on races. And she told me when I first met her, because we met on the dog trail walking our dogs, she said, hey, I've got a race next week in New Jersey. And I'm thinking, oh, she's going to the races. And I said, oh, horse racing? Just not even thinking, which was not very kind of me. And I just said, what kind of racing are you doing? And she said, I run road races. And I just had to stop. Not only because she blew me away with everything, the rest of the conversation we were having, but earlier that day, I was kind of feeling in a funk like, oh, I'm feeling tired. And is this it? Like, am I going to be able to do more physical things in my life? Like, what's going on? And I needed inspiration. Well, she was that inspiration. So we now get together every week. We walk our dogs 5 miles, and she'll just keep going. I'm like, honey, I've got to go back to work. Like this, I'm still a working girl here. So, but she's just like, oh, well, I clocked already 8 miles today. I mean, she's just a powerhouse. And it all started with, hey, what do I want for my future? And finding a community. And she found a community of walking people, and she grew from there. So she found that community. The gym may be a community, grab a friend and go to a gym. I have a client that does that, where she was dead set against any kind of activity, and now takes her friend to the gym with her. They sign up every week for 3 classes. It could be yoga, strength training, whatever, cardio. They sign up together 3 days a week, and they hold each other accountable, and that's their little community. And they're starting to now find a little group within that group, and they're going for walks together. It escalates. It doesn't happen overnight, but see where you are, meet yourself where you are, and take that first step. That's all it takes, is just showing up and taking that first step.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked a little bit, I think, particularly in our 50s and into our 60s, right? There's a lot of transition happening for a lot of people. They've had families, right? They've had kids, which have helped them establish networks that are social and perhaps active. But once the kids leave home, those networks can dissolve or just go away. And you kind of find yourself with time on your hands, or basically in like a season of change, right? Yes. It's really, really difficult. So making sure you find people you identify with, who want, similar things that you want, but also, and key number 3, inspire you. Yes. You mentioned it. You've got to get inspired, right? Again, just like we said in the beginning, this is not the end. In fact, it's a whole new beginning, which, my gosh, can feel really overwhelming, especially if, right, your health has slipped in the past, years or decades, right? That you've been busy working perhaps towards the pinnacle of your career, or the pinnacle of parenthood, or whatever the case is, right? But I think it's so crucial to start really imagining, like, where are you going to be beyond 50, right? 60s, 70s, 80s. I mean, this woman's probably we're going to hear about her, 105 years old, completed the New York City Marathon.
She's planning what she's doing for the next decade. This is why, you're staying in my life forever. I don't care, forever. Thank goodness our dogs are friends, because it makes it even better. But yeah, and that community, that outreach, that, our lives are changing. So finding those people is so important. And finding that inspiration. I find a lot of my inspiration also on social media, because, like I said, I'm not always the person to go out. I'm not the big extrovert. And so if that's not your thing, being out around people all the time, hey, go to social media. There's a wealth of information. I found so many people over the age of 50 and 60 that are running marathons, power walking, who had not done it in their past, but find hey, I have this window of time now. My kids are grown, or my career's at a place, or I might be thinking about retiring. I have this chunk of time. How do I want to live the next decade? How do I want to live the next season of my life? Who do I want to be? And they just started participating. And so I look for these people for inspiration. I mean, there's this grandmother, she's all over social media, who's so fit. I mean, she trains with her granddaughter, was not fit at all, never knew about weight training or gyms or anything like that. Maybe went out for walks, is so toned and fit. And she works out. She's a power lifter. She looks fantastic. Her doctors are telling her she has the body, heart, bones, muscles of a 25-year-old from everything she's doing, from weight training, not from overdoing her cardio, from weight training. And it changed her life. She's inspiring millions of people. I know people who want to get out there and do that cardio thing, but choose power walking because of, issues with joints and back pain. Power walking is fantastic and another great way. So again, finding your way, finding your community, finding your inspiration, all important.
Yeah. Well, and, to be clear, we're not saying come on, everybody be power lifters and fitness pros in 50 and beyond, right? But let these be examples. Let these be inspiration, right? And the thing is I think we get to a point somewhere in life where we think, well, we got to stop dreaming. We have to stop, we don't have time for these inspirations anymore. You know, you might even think about a hobby you had as a kid. You mentioned like getting back on the bike, right? Like how many days of your childhood were spent just riding around?
Yeah.
Like you didn't even think of riding a bike as exercise.
Right.
It was simply, I want to
Fun.
go there with those people. So I'm getting on my bike and I'm going, right?
Mhm.
Like let's grab a hold of that, right? Let's use our bodies in ways that, like you said, really entice us to feel joyful again. And I think there's such an opportunity there. And yeah, look on social media, look online, look in your community, look at your peers, right?
Yes.
And
like
just this
sorry.
is not the end.
And all
Go
of
ahead,
those
it's
people
fine.
who we're talking about that inspire me, that's me personally, they started just with the very first step. They weren't born into being this athlete. They weren't like former athletes that came back to it. There were people who just decided one day like, hey, I don't want to be that person who can't get up off the floor playing with my grandchildren. I don't want to be that person that can't take a family vacation. I want to be the person who's going to do something. And I did, even as a trainer, have someone come into the gym at 75, and she said, my family travels a lot. We are going to Israel, and we're celebrating my grandson's bar mitzvah soon. So I want to be able to get on a camel. I want to be able to get on and off that camel. I want to be able to walk, all the things they had planned when they went to Israel. And we worked on that, and she did it. And I have pictures of her on that camel. And she was someone
Amazing.
who never, ever went into a gym. Very old school, old fashioned, just, women don't belong in a gym. Don't belong in a gym. Sorry about that. That's where she came from. And meanwhile, she ended up being able to do all these things and stayed as a client for another 5 to 7 years. So, again,
Wow.
never
Jeez.
wanting
A lot of camels.
Yeah, never wanting to be in the gym ever, turning out to be this fitness person who continued fitness in her life afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I think you defined something really quickly before we move on. She was really specific about what she was inspired to do.
Yes.
It matters.
Yes.
You have to be so crystal clear about, so specific about what it is you want to do, and let that lead you into something that ignites your life, right? And definitely, again, find community, find your people, find a trainer like Lenora, right? Like you got to find somebody who's going to hold you to it, because it's not going to always be rainbows and butterflies. You're not always going to love it. You're not always going to want to show up. So, the community and the support is super crucial.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Absolutely.
Two more things we have to cover. One, I think, is vastly overlooked in the attempt to get healthy, get fit, even lose weight beyond 50, really at any point in our lives, but definitely as we age. Our bodies have very low tolerance for stress, right? So our fourth recommendation is drop the stress. And I think it's really surprising how we recommend doing this. So Lenora, what is the one thing we constantly see people coming to us beyond 50 overdoing? What is it that they gotta shift gears? And we sort of touched on it. There it is.
Yeah, cardio. The overdoing the cardio, and I'm sure you saw this in the gym as well. The amount of people I would see coming in, women, 5:30 in the morning before work, 5 o'clock in the morning, heading to those elliptical machines, the treadmills for hours, and they would look so exhausted. And then I would go over to them like, hey, do you want to have a session on the mat and just get off the cardio for a little while? No, we have to do my cardio. I don't have time for this. And just for years, looking exactly the same, only more tired. The key is, yes, we need cardio. We want cardio. We want cardio or benefit from cardio in smaller bursts, less time, and increasing strength training to at least 2 to 3 times a week. Strength training and then cardio. They don't have to be hours in the gym. It could be a 20-minute burst of cardio, like a high-intensity training, interweaving that power walking. It doesn't have to be you're jumping around doing burpees or anything like that. Sure, you can put in a session of that a week or so, and that would be fine. What happens is when we overdo the cardio, cortisol levels rise in our body. And as we know, the cortisol is our stress hormone. So anytime the body feels stressful, cortisol comes up. What happens then is our metabolism slows down. We start to hold on to weight. We start to crave sugar because we're so tired. unused sugar, unused carbohydrates turn to stored fat for future use. Only we never have that future use. We're not running marathons. I mean, some of us may be running marathons, but most general population, we're not running marathons, or we're not, the super CrossFit person that's, ranking in their age group and things like that. We're just average people trying to be healthy and fit. The best value you can get in your workouts is strength training 2 to 3 times a week, cardio in high interval, short bursts, and maybe a day of slow, steady cardio. But that daily, slow, steady cardio is a burnout and a recipe for disaster.
So to be clear, we're really talking to the 50 and above, right?
Yeah.
Because definitely we have more tolerance for stress when we're younger.
Absolutely.
Our bodies can kind of clean out those toxins from the stress. It can kind of handle it. And I would venture to guess most people under 50, women in particular, doing okay with sleep. I mean, that's a whole other video.
Yeah.
But definitely into the 50 and beyond, particularly for women in menopause. All right. We're going to kind of set the men aside. That's another video as well. Right. But reduction in sleep hours. Wow. This really drives up cortisol levels. So that's why we're
100%.
recommending reducing the overall volume on cardio, because there's only so much cortisol our bodies can tolerate. As we age, it can tolerate less of that. So we're going to have to knock it off somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I think the other thing we talked about, the change in life, right? Like a lot, it's stressful for if you have kids, for your kids to leave home or maybe not, but you're looking at retirement. I mean, everything is in flux in this stage in our life. So there are so many stressors. We don't need to add to it by doing hours of cardio. Right? Is that essentially what you're saying?
It's 100% of what I'm saying. And in fact, I had a client who was actually relieved to hear that. Former kickboxer in her 40s, really, really tough kickboxing. And I did the same thing in my 40s and I loved it. The thought of doing it now is like, ooh, and even though I'm a runner and I'm training and doing all these things, the thought of doing that is I can almost feel the fatigue coming over my body. Not that I wouldn't enjoy it once in a while, but just at the level I was doing it compared to now, and also the desire, we have fluctuating hormones going through the 40s and 50s. And those fluctuations can either push us to that desire for more like intense cardio, or completely the other thing of, oh my gosh, I can't even like walk around the corner today. And there's a lot of that going on, this kind of, I call it like the pinball machine of progesterone, and like everything all over the place. And that can really lead to, feeling fatigued and saying like, okay, you know what? I need to listen to my body right now. What is my body telling me? Yeah, I'm tired. So usually with the body signaling you're tired, you need to dial it back a little bit. So, we want to bring those cortisol levels down, increase the dopamine and serotonin, which also naturally depletes as we get older. So how do we bring it up? Healthy diet, lots of rest, and reducing the stress. So sleep is so, so important. And with hormonal changes, yes, disturbances are normal. So that means like just what Haley was saying, we just have to find ways to reduce the overall stress in our life. And that can be anything from shifting the cardio to, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun or anything here, but finding other alternative methods as well, such as meditation, relaxation, stretching, other ways to bring down the stress level. And you will find those benefits to outweigh, anything else you're doing, because it increases all those good hormones and decreases the cortisol.
No, I don't think it can be overstated.
Yeah.
The stress reduction, really any stage of life is super important. But I mean, at this point, you just got to do it. You got to do it. You got to get in there. You hear meditation all the time. Well, you hear it for a reason. Try it.
Yes.
And actually try it, right?
And it could be a minute a day, a minute in the morning before you get out of bed, a minute before you go to bed. It could be a mindfulness exercise, such as, look, we all have to fold laundry. The next time you fold your laundry, do a mindfulness exercise. Focus in on what you're doing. Slowly watch the folds in the clothes, fold them over. It may take a few extra minutes, but it just brings down the cortisol levels. Meditation, a lot of people think they just have to sit and do this and they feel agitated. And you know
Right.
what? I did too at first, and then it
Mhm.
gets so much better. But I started with active meditation. I started with mindfulness activities, and then I took that into my hiking in the woods with the dogs. And I would stop and look around and say, oh my gosh, there's so much beauty out here that I'm just hiking right by every day. Let me slow down and take a look. And then it turned into, a few minutes of mindfulness meditation while I was being active. So it doesn't have to be where you're sitting cross-legged and chanting a mantra, although it could be, and it's super beneficial if you try that. But there are ways to reduce stress that are active, or just you can add them into your daily activities. I was doing it on the treadmill the other day. I was like, oh, I've got to finish this run because I have to go do something, blah, 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 all these things I have to do. And then I just zoomed in on the pattern on the curtain, and I started to notice, how did I not see that pattern before? And all of a sudden, I was just like running along, and I said, this is so much more enjoyable, just kind of laser focusing in. And I thought, yeah, there's that mindfulness thing again. And it was just like in the middle of a run of all things. So where you wouldn't think, you're going to reduce stress. Here we are talking about cortisol and cardio, but it was a moment to say, like, hey, wait a minute, slow down, relax. This is a fun run. You have 20 minutes here, enjoy it, and focus in. Like it could be a dopamine serotonin moment, not a cortisol moment.
I like that. Can we just start labeling moments with their appropriate
cortisol,
hormones?
serotonin.
Everybody out there, try that one for us. Let us know how it goes.
Well, that's a fun
All right.
thing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry to jump on you.
No, go ahead.
It's a funny thing
It's
because
all right.
I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of Dr. Sarah Gottfried, who does a tremendous amount of research for women with hormones and weight loss and health, and she's just a guru in the field. But anyway, she has this thing that she calls her tiara time, which is basically like she just slams on, hey, this is time to increase the serotonin and dopamine. And imagine yourself putting a tiara on. It's like, hey, this is my moment, family. I get to just breathe and take it all in right now. Even if it's 30 seconds or 10 minutes, it's my time. And she does that a few times a day. She jokes about it, but it's kind of like labeling the hormones, labeling that time. So
yeah, let's all start labeling. I mean, you can go with Sarah's tiara moments, right? Or tiara. I kind of like that's a cortisol moment, and I'm going to turn away from it and choose serotonin.
Yeah, and that could just mean taking 3 slow belly breaths, right? Like it could. We do the MBT
I've been breathing
breathing.
Yeah, I've been breathing slowly, listening to you, sort of zenned out. All right, we got to start wrapping this up. But we've got one more thing to share, and you've done such a good job of like weaving all of these things into this. But I do want to highlight it because we did say 5 and our best and fastest ways to achieve fitness beyond 50. So the 5th one is become your own detective. And don't worry, we have not forgotten about nutrition, but ultimately the theme is, are you listening? Are you listening to your body? And across the board, right? Not just with nutrition and exercise, but across the board. And Lenora, you mentioned earlier, like if you feel tired and fatigued, heed that.
Yes.
So talk to us.
Yeah.
Let's start in listening, being the detective, and then go ahead and move into nutrition. Because I know they're out there wondering, what the heck am I supposed to eat?
Yeah. Being that detective, yes, okay, I'm tired. What is it? Did I not sleep well last night? What did I have in an earlier meal? Did that work for me or not work for me? Have I been exercising too much or not enough? Like what works for me? Because everyone's different. We can just put a general blanket over it and say, you must do this 3 times a week and eat this XYZ, but it may not work it may not work the same for everyone. So if you're someone who does a little bit more cardio or are a runner, I have plenty of clients in their 50s who are seasoned runners and they need to eat more more carbohydrates. They need to eat more carbohydrates. So, that's a little bit of a shift from someone who's less active and needs to dial back the carbohydrates. Women will benefit, and everyone benefits from this, but women in particular will benefit from 9 to 11 portions of vegetables a day. That's a lot.
It is.
Not really when you
How
think
do you
about it.
recommend they get that in?
Yeah, well, soups, smoothies. Yeah, it's great. And you know what? That's the recommendation. If you could get 5 to 7 in, hey, that's great. And it's not that difficult. An apple is one portion. A bowl of berries, depending on how many you're having, is another portion or two. A large salad could be 2 portions. So you're already there, like 4 or 5 portions. That's so totally doable. A soup loaded with vegetables, hey, you've got like a couple portions right there. It's a lot easier. A smoothie with 2 handfuls of spinach, hey, and a banana, there's 3 portions right there. So it's doable. It's totally doable. The focus is just like, hey, get those vegetables in, get those whole foods in. Keep mindful of your carbohydrates for what your body needs. If you are super active, yeah, you might need a little bit more. If you're not, just a typical active person, you don't need as many. As Adam posted on social media the other day, we can never out-train a poor diet, and it's so true. We have, and especially in this age group, we need to monitor the carbohydrates. And remember, all fruits are carbohydrates, all vegetables are carbohydrates. It's just the amount of carbohydrates that they have in it. So you will get fuel, you will get energy, and you will feel less fatigue. So be that detective, like, okay, where do I need to make a shift here? What is working for my body? You know, I grew up in an Italian American family. Carbohydrates were a very big thing. For me, that didn't work, but I didn't realize that until I was in my late teens and just fatigued all the time and just something was like, this is not right. Went to the doctor and he said, hey, you need to reduce your carbohydrates. And once I did, that was late teens, my whole life shifted. And I thought, whoa, I could have felt like this my entire life. I had no idea. My parents didn't know. Like, we didn't know. Who knew about that, especially back then? But, you know, I grew up in this family where, you know, my mother was born in Italy. We were having pasta a few nights a week, and that's just the way it was. And you just can't get around that. But, you know, I had to adjust it. And it was, and at that point, I had to eat differently than my family, which was kind of difficult. You know, you grow up in a family and everyone's eating one way. And I have this conversation, I'm sure you do with clients quite often, Haley, is like, but I feel like I'm missing out on something. Everyone else is eating this. That's okay. Everyone else, it may work for everyone else. What is working for you? And when you make that your go-to, your plan, you'll be set for life and set for the next phases or next seasons of your life, wherever you are in life. And that just is not just for over 50, it could be anywhere, but particularly for over 50, because, you know, we are going to have to eat differently. We can't eat like our teenage kids. We'd like to. I always say I want to come back in my next life as my 3 sons, because they could eat just about anything and not gain an ounce. And I look at a carbohydrate and I can gain 5 pounds. So, you know, when they come home from school or work or wherever they're coming and going, because they're always in and out, like, the carbohydrates just kind of build up in the house, and I just don't eat them. And I'm so comfortable with it now because I reinforce that over and over. Like, I'd rather feel better later than give in to the carbohydrates now. This works for me, and I'm like kind of proud of, hey, I can have that there on the table, and I don't want it. I don't need it, because I became my own detective at an early time in my life, and it helped now. So at this time in my life, yes, I had to make more tweaks. Carbohydrates had to be reduced a little bit. Vegetables increased. Major change. Energy soared. I went back to running. I'm teaching my fitness classes again. Like, everything shifted around by making dietary changes. So I became my own detective. Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think the other big theme with that is this idea that we evolve, right? Like, I feel like so many people, I mean, all of our clients, no matter their age, they just want you to tell them that there's a formula, that there's a specific way to do this. They want the silver bullet. There is not one.
Right.
And there won't ever be one. The silver bullet, if you will, is learning to be your own detective and evolve as your body evolves, right? You're not eating now what you ate then, Lenora.
Right.
And you won't be in another 20 years.
Exactly.
You're going to have to evolve again. And so becoming your own detective allows you to stay ahead of the changes your body is going to go through as we age, right? Like, I think for me, that's one of the biggest tools I try to give my clients, no matter what age they're at, but particularly those that are in this phase of life beyond 50, because there are so many changes going on. You got to stay curious.
Yes.
You got to look for the clues along the way, the energy spikes, the energy drops, the fatigue, or the energy. what is giving and taking from it,
Mhm.
right? It might be that you need to eat some starchy
Mhm.
vegetables in your
Mhm.
diet, or you might need a little more fat in the morning
Yes.
or at night. Like, there just is no one size fits all.
Exactly.
That never changes. The evolution is continuous, and
Mhm.
we have to be our own detective.
Yes, and embrace those changes. Embrace the discomfort of the changes. Once you get comfortable with that, it's so much easier. You're not fighting this change and resistance and just saying, "Hey, this is my body today. This is my body this week, and I'm going to
Yes.
honor that, and I'm going to listen to what my body's telling me." You know, a trainer that I follow on iFit, he always says, you know, the pain whispers before it screams. The body whispers before it screams. It's giving you cues. It's telling you things.
Yeah.
And when we pay attention, the benefits are tremendous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the one instrument we were given at birth to live this life. Don't fight it. Work with it. Work with it, because you can't get where you're going without it.
Exactly.
All right, Lenora. Well, any last thoughts before we hang it up for today?
Well, I guess my final thought would be just to, like I said earlier, embrace the changes, meet yourself where you are, step a little bit outside the comfort zone. I know it feels strange at this time of our life where we're just kind of like, oh, wait, I just exited that phase and now entering this phase. It's all good. It's all good. No one's judging you. Go for it. Go for it. Be that, look ahead to see who that person is that you want to be and start the steps today. And we're here to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lenora, thank you so much
Oh,
for
you're
your
so
time.
welcome.
Guys, thank you for tuning in.
My pleasure.
And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.